Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about the different types of systems and the various different answers you can get. So a system that has at least one solution is a consistent system. So consistent would be any system that has at least one solution. A system with exactly one solution is a consistent independent. So kind of think of it as independent, you're on your own, one. And then a system with infinitely many solutions is a consistent dependent. Oops, there we go. So they're both consistent because they have at least one solution. The independent has only one solution, and the dependent has infinite solutions. And then a system that has no solution is an inconsistent system, meaning it has no solutions. So this is what those systems look like. So here's this first one, that's our one solution. So that's our consistent independent. When you graph a line on top of itself, that's an infinitely many solutions. And so that's when we have our consistent dependent. Oh, no. Cancel. Oh. God, I love technology. Alright. Consistent dependent. And then our parallel lines, that's our no solution. Because our parallel lines will never cross, and if a solution is where our lines cross, then we will have no solution here, and that is our inconsistent. So one solution is what we had already worked with, where we cross, that's examples 1, 2, and 3. They were a consistent independent. Infinitely many solutions is where we graphed the exact same line, so we have same slope, same y-intercept, and an inconsistent has parallel lines because there is no solution to that system. Alright, so example 4, again looking at this problem, I don't have this in y equals mx plus b, so my first thought is to make it y equals mx plus b, so I'm going to add x to both sides so that I get 2y equals x plus 2, and then divide everything by 2. So now I have y equals 1/2 x plus 1. Now when you look at these, I'm still going to graph this, but when you look at these, they both have the same slope and they both have the y-intercept. So when I graph at 1 and go up 1 and over 2, and up 1 and over 2, and down and over, down and left. When I graph this, if I were to graph my next one, it's going to be the exact same line. And so because of that, this is a infinitely many solutions. And if we're used to our fancy names, that would mean that this is a consistent dependent solution or system. So because both of them are dependent on each other, all answers for x and y will be the same for both equations. So infinitely many / consistent dependent system. That's what the example 4 is. Moving on to example 5, solving this system. I'm going to graph this first one, so we're going to start at 2. We're going to go up 2 and over 1, up 2 and over 1. I'm going to do that several times. I'm going to go down a couple as well. So down and left. And I'm going to do my best to draw a straight line. You may find out now why I've been drawing them off screen. Alright, and then in this next one, we can solve for y. If you remember from chapter 5 last semester, we also did the find the x and y intercepts. That's your choice. I'm going to solve for y, so 4y equals 8x minus 8. Divide everything by 4. Y will equal 2x minus 2. And so that means I'm going to start at a negative 2, and I'm going to go up 2 and over 1, because I have the same slope, up 2 and over 1. And down 2 and over 1. Now, when we look at these graphs, they have the same slope, which we talked about. Parallel lines have same slope in chapter 5. We talked about that. So this is a no solution, which means this is an inconsistent system, because we have parallel lines. So the difference between infinitely many and no solution is that when we look at our y-intercepts, our slopes are going to be the same for both of them. In a infinitely many, our y-intercepts are the same. In our no solution, our y-intercepts will be different. Here it was positive 2 and negative 2. It could be positive 2 and negative 10, or positive 2 and positive 1. It's just that our y-intercepts are at different places. But since they grow the same rate, or the slope is the same, there is a no solution. And so those are our different types of answers. So examples 1 through 3 in the first video give one solution. Example 4 was infinitely many because it's graphs the same line. So we had same slope, same intercept. Whereas example 5, our no solution, had same slope, different intercepts. And that's one easy way to remember. All right, see you in class.